think I got it. But these are good. Okay, this might die today. They really are. They get like gold stars for attendance. So new. Oh, you're holding me to it? Next time. I need to do a Target run, apparently. So, wait, Adina, are you and Hannah on the same team? No. No. Okay. Wait, who's on the same team? Or is it Lisa's on the same team? Oh. Or was it Sophia? Why do I feel like one of you are on the same team as the other one? I'm going to make things up. I'm just going to make things up, okay? Let's just go with that. Donna. Donna. It's spelled Dana, but it's pronounced Donna. Okay.
Okay, so you're No, we had a great time together. It was awesome. We talked about lots of different things.
You talked about when you were like showing people and you used mom as your example.
Yes, that
and
was
then she
funny.
kept like freaking out, and so you said never to use her as your example again.
Wow, you went through all in like in less than an hour.
Oh, it was awesome. We talked about everything. The whole life story. It was awesome.
You're like,
We talked about how you have like lots of people staying in the house that's going to increase as day by day goes on this week. So I said that reminds me of Willy Wonka. They're both grandparents in the bed at the same time. On Monday, that's what she said.
no, it's not right.
Hey, Hannah, look at you. Great. We're excited for you.
Oh, wait, Mimi, are you sitting here now?
Well, it's true.
Then we have Sophia's in
Will? Okay. Is that fine?
Hi, I'm Gina. My friend Zena. Nice to meet you. Welcome. I know so much about you.
Sophia, you're sitting next
I'll get to spend time with you this weekend. So excited. I can't believe how proud she is, right?
and Sophia.
I know, right? It's a good thing now.
not only in Colombia, but yeah, they're not saying the same.
Fine, but I'm not smiling, okay?
Did I tell you I like
Happy.
Well, here's the man.
My dad used to wear outfits like this.
Really, the Feinstein look?
Yeah. It was like a that was like a
That
couple
was
of
it?
them had that model in the 80s. and
Yeah,
90s.
exactly.
80s, but I've never worn this in my life like this. Like I like it. I like it.
Because then I didn't feel like putting on like a whole thing tonight. So just like sweater and tie. And
How's
sweater
everyone at
weather.
home? Everyone at home okay?
Yeah, everyone's doing better. Rachel's doing better, which is awesome.
Good.
Lily's doing great. And Isla's here,
Good.
helping out with books and such.
Good.
She's having a good time. Alright, you want me to do anything tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Yeah.
For tomorrow. Just
When does Brown leave it?
Monday night for one day.
For one day, and then
Wednesday straight to Sunday. She has to work. School doesn't start for 2 weeks, but she has to work.
And Julie has like a couple weeks still.
The 27th, Sunday.
27. Is she
But she's not
flying
in
out by
school.
herself?
To LaGuardia and then shuttling to JFK and then
Is she going with anyone else who's also shuttling to
one kid from here.
from here?
That kid was freaking out. Julie's, I got this. I can just by myself. I'm like, so you go with this other kid. That way you'll comfort her and you'll help her. So it's a Southwest direct flight to no, it's changing place in Chicago, Midway, and then Chicago to Tel Aviv, Chicago to New York, LaGuardia, and then just a shuttle to JFK. And then the whole group goes from there on El Al to Israel.
Okay, that's cool.
Allison Ross. I don't know. Allison Ross.
Allison Ross is giving it today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used to be in USY. She's supposed to be here tonight. If she's not here, I will give you the certificate.
But we'll do this. Like, all right, all statter, move it. Okay, we'll give you the signal.
I think we should start. Diana? Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We are delighted to celebrate with Hannah Trujillo and her family as we celebrate Shabbat, Parsha Bo, as we turn in our Siddur to page number 4, as we welcome in our angels of Shabbat, page number 4 together, the words of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LeShalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LeShalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem LeShalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The additional piyut, the additional poem that welcomes in Shabbat, Yedid Nefesh, page number 5. Top of the page, we welcome our additional soul in on Shabbat. Yedid Nefesh, page 5. Yedid Nefesh, Havana Chaman, Meshochav Eretz Sona, Yarutz Avdach Kemo Ayam, Yishtachavel Muhadavarav, Yeravlo Yediduta Minofet Suf Vechotam Adonai. Second verse. Ziv haolam nafshi, nafshi cholat avata, ana elna rifana la, beharod la noam ziva. אז תתחזק ותתרפא, והייתה לה שפחת עולם. יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, לה לה לה, יאללה לה 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 לה, יאללה לה 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 לה. Yalla la 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 la, yalla la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la yalla la la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la, yalla la la la, yalla la la.
Our Psalms to welcome in the Sabbath, Kabbalat Shabbat, begins on page 8, the left-hand side, page 8. Lechu neranena. We join together, page number 8.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. Nadia, Nadia, letzor yishenu, nekad ma'afana beto da. Nadia, Nadia, letzor yishenu, bizmira, Nadia lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. 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 Arba'im shana kut bedor, va'omaram to'e levavhem, vehem lo yadu derachai, asher nishbati ve'api, im yevo'un el menuchati.
We stand together, my friends, the Psalm for the Sabbath, Havu Ladonai, the Seven Voices of God, page 14 in the Hebrew, the transliteration, page 15, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid,
Havu Ladonai be'elim, Havu Ladonai, Kavod v'zeh Havu Ladonai, Kavod shemo ishtachavu Ladonai be'adat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Yalelai, Kol Adonai be'adat, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vayshaber Adonai et arzei halvanon, Vayarkidem gemo hegel Levanon ve'Siryon, kemo venre'im, Yalelai, Kol Adonai chod zehev lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel hayalot, Vayechesov ye'arot uvehechalot, Kulo merkavo Yalelai Adonai lama habul yashav vayeshev, Adonai melech le'olam, Adonai yos le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. We may be seated as we welcome the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi. You can find the text on page 17. We'll share in the first 3 verses together on page 17 and 18, and then we'll move to page 22 at the top of the page when we'll stand and face the back of the synagogue welcoming the Sabbath bride. The first 3 verses and the last one, Lecha Dodi, page 17 in our Siddur.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela.
La la la, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. La 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, pene pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala,
Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem tiferet veliti la 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 l'chadodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2, page 18. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha. Ki hi mekor ha'beracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila la 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 lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 3. Mikdash melech ir melucha. Kum mitzei mitoch ha'hafecha. Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha. Vehu yachamol alayichem la 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 lecha dodi. Likrat. We stand together. Page 22. We face the back of the sanctuary. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela.
Boi v'shalom materet bala. Gam besimcha uvetzola. Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Boi chala.
Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi. Likrat kala. Pnei Pnei Shabbat nekabela. We may be seated. Let's join together tonight in the English, the bottom of page 23. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Please join me, the bottom of 23 in the English. It is good to give thanks to Adonai, to sing hymns to your highest and most godly name, to tell of your love in the morning, to sing at night of your faithfulness, to pluck the strings, to sound the lute, to make the harp vibrate. Your works, Adonai, make me glad, and I sing with joy. How amazing are your works, Adonai. Your designs are beyond our understanding. The cantor concludes Kabbalat Shabbat, page 24, Psalm 93, the end of the Hebrew.
Eidotecha nemnu meod levetcha nava kodesh Adonai leorech yami.
Those of us who wish to stand for Mourner's Kaddish, now is the time to do so. On page 25 in our prayer book together, we say the words Yit Gadal, V'Yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma, Divra, Kirute, Ve'amlich Malchute, Bechayechon, Uvyamechon, Uvchaye, Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, Uvizman Kari, V'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Le'alam Lalmei Almaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitba'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yit'aleh, V'yithalal, Shmei Dekudsha B'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. We may be seated. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. So, my question, or at least opening question or thought for tonight is light versus dark, right? So if I were to ask you, how many of us, I'm just curious by a show of hands, how many of us prefer nighttime during the summer? When it gets really dark, really late at night. How many of us like that? Let me see. Oh, interesting. How many of us appreciate and enjoy these winter months when it's very dark at an early time and maybe we can go to sleep at 6 o'clock at night when it's dark? How many of us, just curious, how many of us appreciate that? Okay, you're in the minority, but that's okay because there's only like 5 of you of the 70 or so in the room. So I want to talk about light versus dark, and not to say that Judaism shares an optimism, I think, for both, right? If you think about the following, let's look at one ritual, and that is the beginning and ending of Shabbat. When does Shabbat begin? Is it still dark out when Shabbat begins? Is it dark out already? No, it's actually at Hachama HaMeirosh, right? At the time, Netzer Hachama, when the sun is starting to set. It's still light outside, we can still see, right? So light in welcoming the Sabbath is extremely important, right? It's kind of the closing of the week before it gets dark, and there's this beautiful moment when, the sun is still there and present. When does Shabbat end and we get excited for a new week? When it's light outside? No, when it's dark outside. And how do we know when Shabbat is really over? When we can identify, right, Shlosha Kochavim, 3 stars in the sky. Do you know why 3 stars? You don't know why? Well, stars have feelings, and stars have personalities, right? So if you have 1 star that says Shabbat is over, the rabbinic tradition, they were huge astrologists. They were really into the stars and the sun and the moon and the sky. They say that 1 star isn't trustworthy enough. 2 stars, there could be an argument and a tie. This one says Shabbat's over, this one says Shabbat's not over, back and forth. I know, it's called Baba Maisa and it's called nonsense, but nevertheless, you need a 3rd star, right, to break the tie. And then they say Shabbat is over. So we have a lot of pieces in Judaism that focus on light versus dark. There was a period of time when the rabbis or Jewish tradition would see light as being good, and darkness is being bad. Light is being or zaru ala tzaddik, let the light be sown for the righteous. We sing that on Shabbat, we sing it on Kol Nidre Yom Kippur, right? And for the upright in heart, there's that light, that goodness. And the rabbis also understood as dark being the wicked ones in the world, right? Just like they take in Star Wars everything from Judaism, right? If you think the light of Skywalker, the darkness of Darth Vader, Yoda, right? Lada means to have knowledge, right? The knowledgeable one. So in a lot of movies and styles and ways of being, Judaism has an impact on the light and dark of the world. The rabbis even say the original blessing of the Baruch Hu that we're about to say says, "Blessed are you, our sovereign of the cosmos, who fashions light, Yotzer or Uvrei Choshech, and creates darkness. Oseh Shalom, who makes peace." Actually, the original version, Uvorei Tara, and creates for the possibility of evil to exist, but it was changed to Uvorei Takol, the creation of all possibilities. So I want to focus on this idea of darkness just for a few moments tonight, if you'll indulge me. And when people have crisis in their lives, there's 2 ways of handling that. One is we can fall into an abyss of darkness, and we can fall into a world of addiction, depression, anxiety, fear, nervousness, hibernation, right? But a depressed hibernation, not talking about a recluse, right? There are different ways in which we can unfortunately fall into going and involving oneself in a gang, involving oneself in a cult, right? There's lots of different ways that we can find our way in a moment of struggle in a way of darkness. But then there are opportunities, of course, that we can find our way on a path of light when moments of challenge happen. When moments of challenging us and who we are, right? So there are opportunities to align ourselves with a community, to connect with people who are around us, to figure out a way, as Rabbi Harold Kushner would suggest, right? How do we create and respond in a moment of light facing a moment of darkness to bring a greater godliness into the world based on his book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People? Right? And so that's the idea that Judaism shares, is to find ways to combat darkness to create greater light. We have done psychological studies of people. People that are in a room of light have a more optimistic attitude than people that live or embrace themselves in a room of darkness. I'm not talking about goth individuals. I am talking about people that have actually been scientifically tested in these two places. That people that walk out of a room of light tend to be more happy and welcoming and inviting. And people that they've done the study on a walk out of a place of darkness tend to be seclusional and not interested in connecting with society. Where is all this going? I want to focus briefly on the Torah portion this week that Hannah will participate and read tomorrow morning, and some of our other congregants will read. We have Parshat Bo. It's the third Torah portion of the book of Exodus. We started 2 weeks ago with the birth of Moses. He becomes a leader. He goes to the burning bush. He looks at himself in the mirror. The second Parsha Va'era really is the continuation where Moses attacks God and said, I'm not going. And God says, don't tell me what to do. Yes, you are. You'll go with Aaron and you'll plead with the Pharaoh and you'll tell him this is what he's going to do. So here we are. This is the third Torah portion in the book of Exodus. 7 plagues have happened. Pharaoh continues to be stubborn. And we have these 3 final plagues before next week when the Jewish people leave Egypt and they go to the Sea of Reeds. So I want to focus on the 8th plague, which is the plague of darkness. Now, if you look at the plague itself in the Bible, it says that darkness befell the land of Egypt for 3 days. And the darkness was so dark that people couldn't see one another. So imagine that, right? I mean, those of us who've been in a dark room, I don't know how many of you are scared being in a dark room, have a nightlight. I don't know what everyone's personal thing is. That's fine, right? But imagine, like, you're in the dark and your eyes can sometimes adjust to the darkness. It takes some time, but you can adjust to the darkness, right? Right? Yes? Okay. Imagine, though, if you were in a place sitting next to somebody or in your home or in your comfort zone, and all of a sudden it was taken away from you. And you didn't know where to go or how to go. And even blind people can sometimes see reflections at times or light images. But imagine you couldn't see anything. Scary. Problematic. When your life is completely reversed where you cannot go anywhere because you're afraid of where your next step is going to take you. Now, the Jewish people in the land of Goshen, this small little suburb, right, outside of Egypt proper, had light, a little bit of light to see. I don't know how much light they had. I don't know if it was a reflection. I know it's a narrative that was made up. We're not going to go there. We're just going to look at the narrative and said that the Jewish people had a little bit of light. So I want to focus on a metaphoric understanding of darkness. So there's a Hasidic commentary, a student of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov was the master of the Hasidic movement. He started, the Chassidut is the last wave of Kabbalah. I don't know much about Chassidut. I'm not a master in it. I choose not to be a master in it. I don't want to be a Chassid. I leave that to my stepbrother who lives in Yerushalayim. May he live and be well. Right? That's his world, not mine. But I do study a little bit of their texts because I find them to be very meaningful. I just don't live their life. And so the text that this student of the Baal Shem Tov shares is really remarkable. It's not that the darkness is what really befell Egypt. The reason that the darkness fell upon Egypt and why that was one of the plagues is because that's how the people were acting against each other. That is to say that before the physical darkness happened, when an Egyptian, right, would see another person or chose to see another person, they did the opposite. When Egyptians would encounter one another, they chose not to look at another person. They didn't look at anybody else. They were only full of themselves. And that's what the Hasidic masters say creates darkness in the world. They created their own plague. It wasn't just a physical darkness. What did they care? Right? Because if it was completely dark, what's the difference? In their usual life, they weren't talking to anybody. They didn't care about anybody. They choose to march to their own drummer and just be self-absorbed. Right? So the Hasidic master says that somebody in this world who doesn't see somebody else or who chooses not to see anybody else, you create dark space in the world. You are responsible for creating evil in the world. You are responsible for creating brokenness in the world. You are responsible for creating abuse and toxicity in the world if you choose to live that way. So, what's the challenge this Shabbat, Parsha Bo? To try to live a life where we don't ignore people. How often is someone saying hello and want to have a conversation with us, and we have short 4 initial texts to them, or they're talking to us, we walk right by them. So I did double grocery shopping today. Trader Joe's and Safeway, 2 of my favorite places. Didn't make it to Costco. Didn't have enough time today. And finished up with a Diet Coke at Circle K. So, in going to each of these places, I would spend time talking with people in the aisles. That's probably why I didn't have time to get to Costco, right? Talking to people in the aisles. But when I got to the register, in 2 of these places, right, the Circle K and the Safeway, I made it a point to have a conversation with the person who was checking me out, whether it was just a simple, big soda or whether it was some groceries. And I had a conversation. I asked them, how's your day? How are you doing? And they looked at me stunned. And both of them pretty much responded the same way. What a delight that somebody has acknowledged me today. What a delight, from the word light, L-I-G-H-T. Right? And I'm just one dude in the world that was just talking to them and vice versa. Right? But imagine if we all were to live that way and have those conversations. I mean, we wouldn't get a lot of shopping done, but, our conversations would be enriching. Right? And our personalities would mature. And the godliness of the world would increase. So do that this week. The world is very dark. I'm not going to get into a political discourse about government shutdown tonight. But the world is very dark. And we have to do our job just like as we light Shabbat candles, just like we light the Havdalah candle. When we have light, when we have dark, and we bring light into the world. So this week, go out and bring some light to somebody else. Somebody whose world is dark. Somebody whose world is troubled. And if we can do that, the 8th plague will be a piece of history, but never forgotten. Shabbat Shalom. And so that creation, that idea of light versus dark, Hannah, come on up. We're going to do the Baruch Hu, recite the blessing of creation, which ends with Ma'ariv Aravim, the appreciation for light and darkness. We stand together, page 28, the words of the Baruch Hu, our blessing of light and dark, our blessing of creation.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. We may be seated. The blessing of light and darkness, the bottom of the page.
Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo el chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo,
Ha'ma'ariv Aravim.
Amen. Avat Olam, the blessing before the Shema, page 30.
Hi hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue with our tefillah, the concluding text of the Shema Ve'ahavta, pages 32 through 35, the Hebrew or the English to ourselves, 32 through 35. Our blessing of thanksgiving that we will actually recite next week as we cross the sea together on Shabbat Shirah. But for now, page 37, the text, Mi Chamocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osef ele, Nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha Rahu vanecha Bokei ayam Limoshe u'Miriam Ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch Adonai imloch Le'olam va'ed V'nemar kifata Adonai et Yaakov Ugealo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
Sha'al Yisrael.
Amen. Our prayer for peace, let's read in English tonight, page 39, as we move from a world of darkness, hopefully to a world that is more full of light and more of peace. Let's read in the English together. Grant, O eternal God, that we might lie down at night in peace, and raise us up in the morning renewed with strength. Spread over us the shelter of godly peace, guide us with good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague, keep us from war, famine, and suffering. Subdue our inclination to evil. O God, our guardian and helper, our gracious and merciful sovereign, give us refuge in the shadow of your godly wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace. Blessed is Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel and humanity, and over Jerusalem.
Ushmor tzeitenu voinu lechaim u'leshalom me'ata ve'ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha baruch atah Adonai
Baruch Hu Baruch Shemo.
hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim.
Amen. We stand for Vishamru, my friends, page 40, the biblical text that reminds us to make Shabbat part of our lives, full of light, full of a bit of dark, and all of those feelings in between. Page 40, Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייך
ובימיך ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב.
ויאמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך. לעולם לעולם יומיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
בריחו
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא.
ויאמרו
Amen. The Amidah we recite to ourselves along with personal prayers and thoughts for the coming week or reflections from the past week, things that are on our minds and personal time, 43 through 56 as well. When we're finished with our breathing and our thoughts, we may be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Kaddish Shalem, page 60 in our prayer book.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועלמא דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וימיכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ימרו.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach, Le'olam Le'olam Me'omaya.
יתברך, יתברך, וישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי לקודשה.
Barichu.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמא וימרו. אמן. תתקבל צאתון ובאותון לכל ישראל, קודם אבוהון דבשמיא וימרו. אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיא, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל וימרו. Amen.
My friends, our blessing of healing for our loved ones that are in need of healing of body, healing of spirit. Let's just take a moment as we sing the blessing together to be mindful of those who we are thinking about tonight as we pray for refuah shlema, the renewal of body and the renewal of spirit. Page 62, our blessing of healing.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha laimotenu.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We stand as we join Hannah for Aleinu L'Shabeach before Mourner's Kaddish, page 63, top of the page, Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך Malchei Hamahim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We may be seated in our community this Shabbat. We recall with love and affection the souls of loved ones whose anniversaries of death fall on the Hebrew calendar from the 6th to the 12th of Shvat. Lenore Gollop, Adele Goldberg, Louis Schwartz, Sam Manetta, Milton Klasky, Kate Passon, Charles Howard Trepper, Naomi Lewis, Laura Albert, Catherine Horwitz, Chana Fish, Ben Dworkis, Bella Guberman, Bernice Sharp, John Gamiel, Jacob Griziak, Murray Levy, Jess Bernstein, Samuel Kravitz, Nate Rubin, Norman Rubin, Julius Ruthen, Isaac Jacob Rubin, and Job Weiss. At this time, those who wish to stand, mourners Kaddish, now is the time to do so. Page 66, as we recite the text together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyamechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We may be seated. Instead of our board member and our president Mitras, his daughter Allison, who is visiting from the East Coast from college. We'll have a few brief announcements. We have some gifts for you to give also to Hannah. So Hannah, come on up, and Allison will give you your gifts. We are live streaming this, Allison, so your father will be watching very proudly, and you will give gifts to Hannah at this time with some announcements.
Sure. So, Hannah. Mazel tov, and congratulations. This is only the beginning part of your bat mitzvah. You got to finish it up tomorrow, but after this point, it's a home run. You got it. So congratulations on that. You have a lot of gifts here from the sisterhood, the men's club, the synagogue, JNF, and the Jewish Community Foundation. They really appreciate you. And they wanted to also be with you in some way on your bat mitzvah. And this is how they chose to do it. Yes. And it has a very nice contrast with the pink bag. So. And Caroline also has a gift for you.
Mazel tov. On behalf of our USY board, I have a $10 gift certificate that you can use for any of the events. We have a lounge night on February 13th, and we would love to have you join us. So, mazel tov.
The certificate makes so much more sense than in the email. It was made with an exclamation point, 0, and then .00. It was confusing. I can do that. Thank you to Rabbi Kaplan, Cantor Rubenstein, and Rabbi Crane, yeah, I can do names still. Thank you, everyone, for the service tonight. It was awesome. Thank you to all the greeters and the coordinators for this evening as well. Shabbat morning services are tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Tomorrow is Saturday. It's Shabbat. It's at 9:30 a.m. in the sanctuary. But for those of you who want a different form of Shabbat services, Cantor Rubenstein will be doing Ruach Tefillah at 9:35. So 5 minutes later. It will also be around here somewhere. After services tomorrow, Rabbi Kaplan will be conducting Torah Express at the Kiddush, and then there are calendar items. So for any of you over 21, no, never mind. Martini Night Committee reminder, there will be a committee meeting on Sunday at 9:30 a.m. If you wish to be involved on this committee, please feel free to attend. There is other important information on services in the Shabbat handout and on the website and in the programs. So if you have anything else that you think is coming up, those are probably there, I think. I don't know, that was all I had for the calendar. Okay, someone else go.
Thank you, Allison. We're going to have you back next week. You're awesome. Just two things I do want to point attention to. I believe they are in the Shabbat program. One is we will be memorializing our friend, congregant Steve Drazen, on Sunday evening, January 20th, as part of our Life and Legacy Shabbat weekend. Rabbi Daniel Cohen from Stamford, Connecticut, who is an amazing speaker, will be here in tribute to Steve, who was always sat in the front row over here and is near and dear to our hearts. So that's Sunday. The cost is free, 4 o'clock with a reception, 5 o'clock with a lecture. And then Monday morning, Martin Luther King Day, which I'll talk about next week. I'm going to be marching downtown with the Jewish Community Relations Council. I would love you to join me. We have to join our brothers and sisters, and I know there is no school that day, so if you'd like to come down and join me at 8:30 in the morning, or the panel discussion at the Arizona Jewish Historical Society that night, I'll be sitting on that panel as well. Please, it's an important day in our nation. Dr. King continues to stand for talking about darkness and turning that into light. He put his life on the line and unfortunately didn't live as long as we would want him to live. And nevertheless, his message is still important. So I hope you will join me for that weekend, and that's next Monday.
And just a clarifying note, Ruach Tefillah is a learning style minyan where we go through pieces of our prayer in depth. We sometimes don't get very far. The last couple of times we just ended up doing one bracha and one paragraph the next time. So we go slow and we open it up for discussion. So it's a lot of fun. It'll be 9:35 in the Beit Midrash, which is down this hall, down the L-shaped hall, and you'll find it.
Very good. We'll stand together for Kiddush. Hannah, are you going to be joining us for Kiddush Friday night? Come on up here. You'll hold the Kiddush cup for us. Yeah, sure. Page 67, our Tzion, and if you'll kindly put your prayer books away after we are finished with Kiddush, and safe travels wherever you are headed tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim ki vanu vacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Let's grape juice, take a sip. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bim, biddy 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 bim, bam bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom.
I understand.
So,
Yes, love.
tomorrow,
Yes.
am I sitting with my parents again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you wanted to, you could sit in this chair. I thought
Isn't
you'd
that
be.
weird? Because you just like sit in the chair and everybody just stares at you and then you're kind of just like.
I personally would feel more comfortable sitting that way. I get a little bit weirded out.
Because then people don't like have to look at.
No, I know what you mean. Sometimes it's a little bit like, okay, I'm on display here.
Yeah, I'm just like sitting here. So like I can't really twiddle my thumb or do anything. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
can't do anything because everybody's
looking
staring at you.
I basically
Oh,
have to
that
just sit there.
So yes, you're welcome to go back. Well, I'll do the same thing. Tell you when to sit down. Sit down, stand up.
But like,
So for the first part,
what if I'm not gonna be here?
yes, but you have Rabbi Kaplan who does the same things I do, and you can say, welcome to all of you again, and he'll totally tell you. He's just as, he might
Shove a microphone in my face?
he might put it in your face. It's all right.
Where will you be to rescue me?
I will be, so my goal, if I start at 9:35, is to be back at like 10:05. So to be here, hopefully by the time you're doing like your Shema and like processing and stuff like that. That's my hope.
You mean you're not gonna be here when I'm walking with the Torah?
I should be.
You
That's
better
what
be
I'm trying.
because like you help. Okay.
Okay.
So when I hold the Torah, so like this is the Torah. Do I like go like this and one on the bottom, or do I put both on the bottom?
I think it depends on how you're comfortable. Okay.
Okay.
So-
So I'll try both. And then
Yeah, if you feel more comfortable having both your hands sort of supporting the bottom, great. If you like your, it's really your preference. There's not like, it's not like you're supposed to do this.
Okay.
As long as you're not holding it like a baby, you're good. It always weirded me out when people hold it like a baby. Like, what is that?
Right. And no French kisses.
No friends.
But you're gonna be like my Torah on my
Yes,
first
I'm here for
right?
you. For here.
The second we know. But I'm like so excited, you know? Like I've kind of gotten over my nerves. Like I have gotten over my nerves. And then when I walk up here and I see other people, I'll be like, oh no.
Just before I forget. Hi, Dad. Okay. Last time I did my movie, Dad was I'm gonna put this there.
Can I borrow a sticky note?
Can you borrow a sticky note?